Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Tuesday, March 29th, 2011. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S., 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 in Hamilton, and Mexico City it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. According to The Wire here, U.S. consumer confidence fell sharply during the month of March, and also American housing prices continued their slide during the month of January. The stock market, however, is shrugging it off. It's up about 55 points right now. Go to our main news. Well, the main news continues to be Japan. Japan's Prime Minister, pictured here, Naoto Kan, told the country today that it is on maximum alert, trying to bring its nuclear crisis under control. However, the spread of radiation now continues to raise many more concerns. The Prime Minister said that Japan was grappling with its worst problem since World War II. Police said that so far more than 11,000 bodies have been recovered, but the final death toll is still expected to be over 18,000. The plant at Fukushima continues to leak radiation that's now made its way into vegetables, milk, and tap water as far away as Tokyo. And then today, highly toxic plutonium was the latest contaminant found seeping into the soil outside the plant. Safety officials said that the amounts don't yet pose a risk to humans, but said that the findings support suspicions that dangerously radioactive water continues to leak from the damaged nuclear fuel rods. The Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Adano said that the situation remains very grave. The Prime Minister is under assault in the Japanese Parliament, the Diet. One opposition lawmaker said, "We cannot let you handle the crisis. We cannot let you be in charge of Japan's crisis management." The discovery of plutonium released from fuel rods only when temperatures are extremely high confirms the severity of damage. Plutonium is highly toxic. It breaks down very slowly, remaining dangerously radioactive for hundreds of thousands of years. The Japanese earthquake and tsunami are threatening to leave insurance group. Oh, here's the seismic activity map. If you look at the square, the blue square to the east of Sendai, that's the 6.2 that occurred today. Actually, it was today in Japanese time, so it was 13 or so hours ago our time. But you can see there's still a tremendous amount of seismic activity off the Japanese coast there. Now to the German insurer R+V. This is possibly going to be the biggest loss in its history, the Japanese quake and tsunami. However, the Wiesbaden-based carrier would not be brought into any details. They said it's too early to talk about figures. Market sources are saying that the company could face a significant two-digit loss, that's like 90 million euros, from Japan. This would have implications for RV because they just made a profit of 202 million euros in 2009. DZ, the central bank of the German mutual system, owns 74% of RV. For years, RV has been a reinsurer, but unlike its rival Talanx and its affiliate Hanover, RV does not pursue its reinsurance activities in a separate company. It puts all of its business onto its balance sheet. Of the company's premium income of last year of 10.5 billion euros, about 900 million euros came from reinsurance business. RV built up this business without buying any retrocession, relying solely on the strength of RV's own balance sheet, so this could be a big hit for them. Well, it's that time of year. Thomas Hess in Zurich came out with his Swiss Re annual disaster tally. Natural and man-made disasters cost the insurance industry $43 billion in 2010. This is according to the latest Sigma study. It's an increase of over 60% from 2009's $27 billion. Total economic losses for the year were $218 billion, more than triple the 2009 level of $68 billion. Swiss Re said that $40 billion of the insured total was natural catastrophe and the rest were man-made events. Costliest event, the 8.8 quake in Chile in February. That cost $8 billion. The most deadly event was the Haitian quake in January, which killed more than 222,000 people. Insured losses were highest in North America at $15 billion. One of the study's authors said, despite very low hurricane losses, A series of lesser storms throughout the year in the U.S. resulted in this high figure. Well, Lloyd's is now one of a trio of companies waiting to see if they too can benefit from the new collateral rules in Florida. They submitted an application to gain eligible alien reinsurer status. So Lloyd's is now joined by Aspen and Arch in a list of organizations currently waiting to find out if they too can be granted eligibility status by the Florida Insurance Department. To qualify for this, companies must post capital and surplus of $100 million, as well as indicate secure financial strength by demonstrating favorable ratings from 2 ratings firms. Also, Alterra Bermuda became the 11th insurer to be granted eligible reinsurer status in Florida. And OIL, the captive for the oil industry, Oil Insurance Limited in Bermuda, has finally paid all of the outstanding claims from Hurricanes Katrina and Rita from 2005. They're now going to concentrate on growing their membership. Robert Stauffer, the president of OIL, said that OIL's product offerings would continue to evolve. Last year, premiums written and earned by OIL reached $784 million. That was a drop of about $107 million compared with the previous year, but they only incurred $422 million of losses in 2010. It's about that's about $100 million less than they did in 2009. No word yet on how the BP oil spill will or won't affect them. Well, yesterday at about 3:30 p.m., a Southwest Airlines 737 traveling from Orlando, Florida to Chicago made an emergency landing in Louisville, Kentucky after smoke was reported in the cockpit. Flight 1385, with 101 passengers on board, had to land in Louisville after the first officer noted the smell of smoke, apparently coming from wires that connect to the windshield. The smell cleared away after those wires were turned off. The plane landed without any incident. And in Syria, Syria's state-run TV just said that the cabinet has resigned as Syria sees its worst unrest in decades. President Bashar Assad, pictured here with his wife in Paris earlier this year, accepted the cabinet's resignation following a meeting today. It's the latest concession by the government aimed at appeasing more than a week of mass protests. Assad is going to address the country in the next 24 hours, supposedly to announce that he's lifting the emergency law and moving to annul other harsh restrictions on civil liberties. At least 61 people have been killed in protests since March 18th. Federal prosecutors are considering whether to pursue manslaughter charges against British Petroleum for decisions made before the Gulf of Mexico oil well explosion last year that killed 11 workers. U.S. investigators are also examining statements made by leaders of the company, including Tony Hayward, during congressional hearings to determine whether their testimony was at odds with what they knew. The Justice Department back in June said that it had opened criminal and civil investigations into the spill. Authorities are now examining actions by BP managers who worked both on the rig and onshore to determine whether they should be charged in connection with the deaths of the 11 workers. Prosecutors have been looking at charges of involuntary manslaughter. And in Chile, where it's getting to be winter now, they're planning on extending their daylight savings time in an effort to alleviate an energy squeeze. The country relies heavily on hydroelectric power. They're concerned about an energy shortage. They announced yesterday that they're going to turn the clock back in order to make better use of sunlight during the day. The Interior Minister said that the country would move clocks an hour back on the first Saturday of May, an hour ahead on the third Saturday of August each year. Chile relies heavily on hydroelectric power to meet its energy demands. The government's already postponed the time change earlier this month by 3 weeks over concerns about the energy shortage, but the squeeze is not expected to affect the Chilean mining industry. Chile is the world's largest copper producer. Well, why not? If you can solve a problem by doing an action, you might as well do it. Stock market is still up about 56 points right now. That's all the news for today. Tom Bailey will be doing the news tomorrow from London. I will see you on Thursday. If there's any breaking news, I'll come back to you later. Thank you for watching.